Hi guys, so we are live today, and today I'm super excited because we are going to start with my first live for PCOD. So PCOD has been a very important topic for me, and I'm just gonna tag this topic as well so that all of you are joining little slow and later can understand what we're talking about. Yes. Okay. So we are doing a series of lives on my page where we are talking about PCOD. And PCOD, I'm sure all of you know what is PCOD, because in India, if we talk about specifically, there are 8 out of 10 patients are now known to be a PCOD patient. And PCOD is polycystic ovarian disease. Some people also call it PCOS, which is called polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is generally found or diagnosed in women who have just started with their periods, with their cycles, or with women of reproductive age. I'm going to turn off the commenting here so that all of you can start sending me questions, because we are going to be taking the questions towards end of the session. To start with the session, I'm going to educate all of you that what is PCOD, and this is a series of chat wherein I'll also be getting a lot of experts from different fields. Like you would be seeing a schedule on my page where I'm getting an Ayurveda expert, a nutritionist, a yoga expert. We are also probably getting a gynecologist, all the experts from their fields to talk and give us and share the tips how we can tackle PCOD at home. As I said, it is one of the most underdiagnosed and unmanaged disease. It's polycystic ovarian disease, which is also a endocrinal abnormality, because there's a lot of imbalances happening. Many times you do hear that it is a lifestyle disease which can be managed with lifestyle changes, and it is right. But to talk about statistics, 1 out of 10 people or 1 in 8 people generally have PCOD these days. And why the reason for this PCOD increase is definitely our lifestyle, due to the environmental stresses, due to pollution, all of this. So what are the symptoms? So if someone has irregular periods, these irregular periods can also mean if you have a heavy flow, or you have frequent periods or prolonged periods or missing of periods, so irregular periods, or if you have excessive androgens in the body, meaning male hormones or testosterone, which is medically called hyperandrogenism. So these lead to things like, facial hair or excessive hair on the chest, on the back, on the body. So hyperandrogenism thus leading those symptoms, and even acne is a symptom of PCOD. Also, thinning of the hair on the scalp is a major symptom of PCOD. So anovulation is a medical term which you will read mostly if you are looking up for PCOD. What is that? So ovulation is a normal process during which the eggs are released in the female body. But if one has PCOD, those eggs don't get released and they form a cyst in the ovaries. So the eggs don't mature, and hence they are not released, and they form cyst in the ovaries, which is then seen on the pelvic ultrasound. So anovulation, irregular periods, hirsutism, which means excessive hair on the face, and then there is acne, which is there. These are the primary signs and symptoms, but there are also signs and symptoms which can occur thereafter, which is also called the metabolic syndrome of PCOD. That can happen due to the insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance, meaning your body is not responding to the insulin produced. So insulin, we know, is a normal hormone which is produced from our pancreas. When we have to digest glucose, that insulin is reduced. But if you have insulin resistance, no matter how much glucose you are having or carbs you are having, the insulin is not able to digest it properly, and you will have higher levels of insulin, which further causes increase in hyperandrogens, making more and more androgens in the body. So this insulin sensitivity, which can further make a woman more prone to diabetes, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cardiomyopathies, where your cholesterol levels can also go haywire, and then also infertility kind of complications can occur. So this is a domain, that's why the PCOD has to be understood well. We also hear that PCOD has no cure as such, which is partially true. You can definitely manage the symptoms, you can keep yourself away from PCOD, but you have to understand that what kind of PCOD also you have. There is actually 4 kinds of PCOD. We use the term PCOD very generally, and we don't understand that what is PCOD and PCOS, because PCOD and PCOS are slightly different from each other. There might be a very slight bit of difference, but then the PCOS is little more serious form of PCOD. So PCOD can be just due to anovulation and can be managed, whereas PCOS would have some hormonal irregularities like insulin resistance associated with it, which needs more heavier medication and an intervention of an endocrinologist probably. So these are the major reasons that you should be knowing about PCOD. On a broader level, what are the reasons causing PCOS or PCOD, that why do you have it and not the other person? First of all, your genetics. So if your mom or your sisters have PCOD or PCOS, then you are also prone to have it. There are a lot of studies which are carried out, and wherein we realize that even when there are twins inside the mom's tummy, and if the mom has a inherited PCOD gene carrier, then the kids would have it. So genetics is one of the major reasons, so always look out. So if you have PCOD and you have a girl child, always look out for the signs and symptoms. You can study these signs and symptoms from the very beginning when the periods start. So that's the time when of the first period you can start realizing of these signs and symptoms which can come. And then there is of course insulin sensitivity, which can also be obvious in the body with the help of weight gain, your body producing high insulins. You can run some blood tests to show fasting blood sugar levels, insulin resistance, which shows with high fasting insulin levels. There is also higher degree of inflammation. We understand inflammation is nothing but when your body or your tissue reacts to any injury, which is like red, swollen, warm body. And similarly, this inflammation can also be inside your body because of the stresses, because of the pollution, because of the aging, or because of the plastics or chemicals consumed. So that increased inflammation, which is also evident from a blood routine checkup that you can do, which shows high levels of CRP. These are few of the major reasons that can make you more prone to PCOD. Apart from that, as I said, there are 4 different types of PCOD that one should know. One is, of course, the insulin resistance PCOD, which shows in people by weight gain with the darkness of the nape of the neck, which is also called acanthosis nigricans. Pill-induced PCOD with women who have taken oral contraceptive pill for a very long time. It's very easy to treat, but sometimes it can also lead to irregular periods or anovulation. Then the third is inflammatory PCOD, which is due to the high levels of inflammation in the body. So that inflammation can be due to your stress, toxins, environmental damages, or excessive gluten in the diet, which you might be sensitive to. And these people generally have a lot of headaches or skin infections, acne, and their vitamin D levels are low. So good rule of thumb is to definitely not have stress. Then is hidden PCOD, when the signs and symptoms are not very clear, but it is associated with other things like thyroid abnormalities, iodine deficiency. The patients who have hidden PCOD, they are more vegetarian in their diet, and they have zinc deficiencies and other deficiencies which can then combine to give PCOD. So it is a very complex disorder with a lot of endocrinal attributes to it. How we diagnose it is definitely with the help of the symptoms and your proper history which is accompanied with it. We definitely would run blood checks to understand what are the levels of your hormones. So your doctor would advise you to get your blood check done on the 2nd or 3rd day of your period to understand the LH, FSH, your testosterone, your free testosterone in the body. Together with that, I would also want to know your vitamins, because sometimes they can also contribute. Your thyroid profile is very important. Your prolactin levels need to be checked. Insulin levels need to be checked. Your fasting blood sugar needs to be checked. So all these blood checks help us understand what kind of PCOD do you have. Together with that, we also do an ultrasound to see if there are any cysts or the ovaries are enlarged, because we need to understand if there are cysts, then how many are there and how worse is the PCOD. There's another kind of PCOD which has also come into light these days, which is called lean PCOD. So generally talking, people think that PCOD patients are obese or overweight, and they have truncal obesity more than the other fat deposits in the body. But lean PCOD also exists, wherein the patient is actually not overweight, but they have PCOD signs and symptoms like irregular periods. They might have acne or hair loss also. So generally talking, these people are more of the category of hangry, as they say, HANGRY, because they are not able to sustain long periods of fasting. So all these new attributes of fasting, like intermittent fasting, is not meant for them because their body isn't able to cope up due to the insulin sensitivity inside the body. So it's very important to know that what kind of PCOD do you have, because the management is totally dependent on that kind of PCOD. Now, to share my life history when it comes to PCOD is very interesting, because today it's all about my journey of PCOD. I was So I belong to a small town in Punjab, and it was during that time when I used to do a lot of studies, because I was planning for my pre-medical exams, and my lifestyle was more or less sedentary. It involved a lot of studies. I used to contribute about 12 to 14 hours daily to just sitting and studying. And that's where I feel my lifestyle actually went haywire. My mom loved baking, and that actually didn't help. And I had a sweet tooth too. There was no exercise. There was only sitting, eating. Like morning, I would wake up at maybe early morning hours, 3 or 4 o'clock, to start studying. And my regular accompaniment to study was a sugary tea with lots and lots of cookies. The idea of calorie restriction or nutritional balance did not exist. There were no nutritionists or dietitians to help you understand that what it takes to have a natural healthy diet. But it was only then I started realizing that apart from irregular periods, I also started having a lot of excessive facial hair growth. And that's where my sister pointed out that it's a good idea to get her checked. And there were not many endocrinologists at that point of time, but I managed to see one. And there I was diagnosed with PCOD. It was the new disease on the block. People didn't have much knowledge about it. And therefore, the idea of the medication was also very new. The internet did not exist as good as it is these days, so information was very limited. I was given oral contraceptive pills, I was given spironolactone, I was also given a steroid. And I was not informed that what are these medicines and how they should be taken and how should they be tapered off when you are taking them. Because when you're taking steroids, they are good for you if your body needs them, but there is a way to take it. So you slowly build it up and you slowly taper it down, because your body tends to get dependent on steroid. And when it's dependent on steroid, it stops making its own steroidal hormones, and that can lead to a lot of side effects. So I did take the medication off and on because I was not informed well about it. But definitely I escaped getting the side effects from the steroid toxicity. I would say that it was just a good luck of chance, but I did start noticing I got a lot of stretch marks during the treatment, a lot of mood swings, and it did help me lose a little bit of weight here and there. So yeah, I took the medication for almost 2 years, and that was the time the medication helped me trigger weight loss. It helped me lose the excessive facial hair, but definitely whatever hair was left behind, I had to get laser hair reduction done for it, which helped me get a clean face. I never chose to get any waxing or threading done for it, thankfully, because I was aware that waxing can lead to a lot of acne and threading was way painful when you have a lot of hair. So that was then, and slowly when I entered college, I started realizing that what my body size was not natural, and it was giving me a lot of knee pain, back spasms if ever I used to try exercise. So I started losing my weight slowly and steadily by restricting calories and started taking nutritious diet. Being in a medical college definitely helped because I had access to all the medical books to learn and read about PCOD myself. And during the college, I realized I also got thyroid. So I was just maybe 18 years of age when I was detected with hypothyroidism. And that's where I realized that I should be meeting more endocrinologists to get their opinion. I used to come from Punjab to Delhi to meet my doctor, and that's where I started the medication for thyroid as well. My body was overweight. I wasn't able to exercise as much, but I started doing a lot of yoga because yoga is more milder form. And then when I was doing yoga, it definitely in a way helped me get my body shape back. And with the thyroid medication further, I started losing weight, and I'm glad that I took all the medications now properly, having understood that what medication is for what purpose. So medication did help me initially to get back in form. And while I was studying in my medical college, I realized that PCOD is more and more important to be taken care of in a long run with your lifestyle. There is no shortcut. So you can do all these medications when you are diagnosed with PCOD, but it can always come back. It can come back when you go on a trip. It can come back when you're pregnant. It can come back when you gain weight. So it's very, very important to follow a proper lifestyle. So my lifestyle then entailed, and even now, yoga every day. I do a lot of weight and strength training because now I've lost weight, so my body joints can take that much of exercise. I follow a good diet routine because my body is different than rest of the people. I was definitely very scared when I was detected with PCOD that I also might get detected, might have infertility, and I might have to go for treatments like IVF when I'm planning to conceive. But thankfully, with the knowledge, with the right knowledge of PCOD and treatment I'd had, I did not have to go for any of those treatments, and I conceived both my babies very naturally. And both the times when I was pregnant, no matter what I did all the right things. I did prenatal yoga, I ate very, very healthy. I still gained 25 kgs. And post my pregnancy, I was very sure that I have to lose my weight because I've met many of my patients who get very comfortable with their weight gain. I see them maybe after 2 or 3 years of their pregnancy and they still are carrying their pregnancy weight. And I tell them that you don't have to be comfortable in that body size. You have to lose that weight because in your body, those adipocytes, those fat cells also convert hormones and release androgens in the body, which is also going to trigger PCOD. And fat is inflammation in the body, which is again a very, very important and a big reason of PCOD. So I realized both the times that I have to reduce weight. But I did it very gradually because if you do those crash diets, they are inflammation causing and they also cause stretch marks on the body. So both the times I realized I have to lose those excess 25 kgs. It took me almost a year and a half to get back to my normal body size. And it was all yoga, walks, little bit of strength training because no point over toxifying your body with weights if your body can't carry it. Because during this time, while I was young, I never realized how important it is to exercise. And when you don't exercise, your body is not conditioned enough to pick up weights. So it has to happen in a very slow and a steady fashion and together with a good diet pattern. So till now, I would say that thankfully my PCOD has been taken care of, but I'm taking hypothyroid medication. It is well in control. I do get my thyroid levels checked now and then to make sure that they don't go haywire because it is always a chance that your thyroid levels can get imbalanced. During my pregnancy, they did get imbalanced, but there's nothing to be afraid of. Because why I'm doing this is I meet a lot of patients who are very scared when they get detected with PCOD, including their family, that as if there's a very big disease which has happened and now what will happen, because they come to me for their acne, for their laser, and that's where it's important for them to know that I would treat your acne. I would help remove that hair with the help of laser hair reduction cosmetically. But what is happening inside is something much more bigger, which you need to take control of. You need to get your checks done. You need to take care of your hormones. You need to take care of your lifestyle because there is no shortcut when you talk about treating PCOD. So that is the idea when I'm doing this. There are also a lot of mental issues that can happen with help during this time. A lot of my patients come back to me saying that they are feeling very depressed. They are feeling very lost. Married women come and say that they are also feeling a lot of loss of libido. So all these things can happen with PCOD and they can be dealt with. So it is a disease which is qualified and quantified, misdiagnosed many times, but you have to treat it. Take the ownership in your hands with the help of your family, of course, because the treatment is out there, but everything starts with you saying that yes, I can treat it, I can take care of it. So during this sequence of lives that I'm doing, we will be tackling and talking about everything available out there to help you deal with PCOD. I'm getting Dr. Upar from Goa, who's very well renowned in the field of Ayurveda, to give you some tips and tricks in Ayurveda that you can follow and do in your daily lifetime routine with Ayurveda and PCOD control. Tomorrow we are talking to yoga expert Sunena, who is very well renowned in her field, and she will be showing some poses and asanas for yoga which can help improve the blood circulation to your ovaries. So I've been doing yoga since the age of 16 or 17 now, and I absolutely strongly believe in the power of yoga. We are also getting gynecologist on board, a very well-renowned gynecologist on board, who will be talking to you about the impacts of PCOD on your hormones, infertility, and how you can tackle it. We are talking to Dr. Glossy as well, who is a renowned radiologist, to tell us how to diagnose PCOD. Many times patients don't understand what reports mean when you get your reports done with LH, FSH, all the hormones. We are going to simplify it for you to understand that what do those reports mean. We are talking to also a Ayurveda naturopathy expert who is going to talk about PCOD handling at home. All these things are going to be collated for you so that you become a PCOD warrior and you are able to handle PCOD yourself with the help of your doctor, of course. I'm going to take some questions. I think enough of talking about my lifestyle. So yeah, foods to avoid. We are going to talk a lot about foods, and definitely there are certain kinds of food which are inflammation causing and which are high glycemic index food. So always avoid foods which have high glycemic index. So what does glycemic index mean? Glycemic index means when you eat them, your body quickly comes to rescue and releases insulin. You should rather be eating foods which are low in glycemic index, meaning the insulin is reduced slowly and steadily so that you feel that you are full for a longer period of time. And that is something you should always be taking care of. And even gluten and dairy restriction has been found to be very, very important when you're dealing with PCOD, because with the milk and the milk products, they are full of hormones, and also they can lead to acne and obesity. So I would suggest that you switch to different kind of milk. We're going to take up this topic more extensively about foods, so you can keep watching the space. Vanishka wants to know that people suggest it is not safe to take hormonal medicines as is suggested. So yes, Vanishka, that's why I'm going to simplify it more and more for you, that who is the right candidate to take hormonal medicines. So there is always a need to take the medicine when you're really going downhill due to PCOD, when your levels are really off, but not for everyone, and there is a right way to take it. So if your body is really going haywire and your levels are off, it's absolutely fine. Even I have taken those hormonal medications at the time when I was diagnosed with very heavy PCOD. For almost 2 years I took medication, and it was fine when I tapered them off, and now I manage it without medicine. So how to lose weight, that's always been a major talk for everyone. So losing weight or losing inches becomes very easy when you understand your body type. So not one kind of diet is suitable for everyone. So understand what your body needs. And if you're a PCOD patient, we are going to talk about a diet related to PCOD. Make sure you maintain a food diary when you're wanting to lose weight, because sticking to a diet routine is more important. Don't go on any fat diets, because when you go on fat diets, your body reacts to it very adversely, and after 2 or 3 days of those dieting, 5th day becomes a debauchery. So don't do that. Understand your body type. Take a healthy meal plan. Plan it properly, like plan it from a day in advance. And I would say 3 meals in a day, if they're planned well, they can do wonders for you. Try and give a gap of at least 12 hours between your dinner and breakfast. Give that time to your body to digest the food and recuperate. And if you combine that with some regular yoga and cardio activities, I'm sure you're going to see good results. So how to lose post-pregnancy weight and tummy. So of course, this is one of my favorite, I would say, viewer over here. I always see her seeing all my lives. Thank you for tuning in. So post-pregnancy weight and tummy is very easy to go, but you have to be patient about it. So you must meet a nutritionist, you must get your diet in place, and if you're feeding or lactating, your diet would definitely include some form of more nutrients that are required than regularly. Don't miss your meals, and start doing some postnatal yoga or cardio activity, which can just involve maybe walks morning and night. Don't sit all the time, because a lot of people just involve a lot of sitting, and that makes more and more weight accumulation in the body. And if your body still has a lot of weight and you're unable to get rid of that post-pregnancy belly, there are treatments like fat freeze or even Exilis, which have done wonders. Even I got fat freeze done post my pregnancy for my post belly pouch, and it really helped me, because that is a very, very tricky area to lose weight, or the fat belly that you get post pregnancy. Does laser work if my PCOD is under control? Yes. So that's a very good question, in fact. So laser hair reduction is a cosmetic treatment to excessive hair on the body or the face. It is not going to treat your hormones. So laser does work, and even if you have PCOD and you want to opt for laser, it is fine. But you should understand that you have hormonal abnormality, so you might require more sessions of laser, because if your body is producing more and more androgens, your hair would keep coming back and you might not be able to get the best result. So you should definitely opt for laser. Please, please, please don't wax your face, because if you wax, it can cause laxity, it can cause infection, it can cause boils. Don't thread your face, it's really painful, I feel. And what else do people do? Bleaching. So bleaching is full of chemicals. It can not only bleach your face, it can make your skin really sun sensitive. Avoid doing all of that. If you have facial hair, please choose a good laser hair reduction clinic which uses good equipment and technology, where the staff is very well trained to do it for you. We use Soprano Titanium and Isaac, and it has a triple wavelength laser, meaning it has power of 3 lasers in one machine, which is perfectly safe and effective even for patients who deal with PCOD. So is fat freezing surgical way to losing weight as my tummy is hanging? No. So fat freeze is a US FDA approved non-surgical treatment to lose fat. So any pinchable fat that you have in your body, that is a good fat candidate for this treatment. What it does, it uses cryolipolysis to cut down the fat. So cryo meaning cold, lipo meaning fat, lysis meaning breakdown. So when we use a very low degree temperature like -4 degrees, the fat cells freeze. And when those fat cells freeze, they die on their own. They undergo a medical procedure called apoptosis, and they get released from their body on their own. So within a period of 60 to 90 days, those fat cells are drained out of the body through your urine, through the sweat. Very, very normally. There is no incision, there is no pain, there are no needles. Just a applicator is put on the area that has to be treated. It sucks in that area, freezes that area for about 60 to 70 minutes, and then the process starts. You can see the videos of this treatment on my Instagram page as well. It's something very, very interesting. I've tried it myself, and we were the first ones to launch it in India. In fact, almost 5-6 years back, and I've been very, very happy with the results of this treatment so far. What supplements can we take to get back the glow in the skin and the hem? So I would always want to get your blood check done and understand that what is it not letting you have the glow. Definitely glutathione helps, and then regular vitamin D, B12, vitamin C. All of these are some very important things that you should be including. I have PCOD and I shave my hair, but it comes back thicker. What can be done? So first of all, when you shave your hair, it's like cutting the hair in the middle. Like there is a tree and we cut the hair in the tree in the middle. So the bark which is left at the bottom is thicker. So that is what is coming up, and it is thicker in appearance. So shaving is not making your hair thicker. It's just a myth. So what can be done? You should opt for laser hair reduction, because PCOD hair are generally thicker. You can see my face over here, and I've shared some pictures on my stories too, where you can actually see that how bad facial hair growth did I have. That was actually hirsutism, and medication together with laser hair reduction helped me get a clean skin like this. It was perfectly safe, and I would strongly suggest you getting it done if you have facial hair and you want to get rid of them. So what kind of delivery you had and how to deal with post-pregnancy weight gain. So I had cesarean sections, and I'm gonna talk extensively about weight gain and diet. That is important. And as I said, don't get comfortable with your weight gain post-pregnancy. A lot of women just keep carrying it around. Please don't carry it around with you. There's always a good way to lose it and get back in shape. How to get rid of moles from face. I use sunscreen, but still I'm getting new moles. So moles can be removed very easily. You should visit the clinic and maybe opt for a laser or a cautery treatment to remove moles. They can be done in the clinic. Nothing to worry about. Can you please suggest a doctor in Delhi for thyroid and PCOD? So we are going to be doing a lot of lives with endocrinologists and gynecologists to talk about PCOD and thyroid. There are various doctors which I would strongly recommend. Generally, I would say go visit the endocrinologist, and you can also DM me for this, which I can help you with. So Sonika wants to know about intermittent fasting. I think you should need to understand. I know a lot of people who straight away go with intermittent fasting for about 16 hours. I would say take it slowly, understand your body type, start with 8 hours gap and then give it 12 hours, and that is something which is healthy. If you want to do it for a longer period of time, must consult your nutritionist or your doctor, because if you do it for a long time and you're a PCOD patient, what if your insulin levels really drop and your body goes into a phase of ketosis if you're having say metformin? So we need to understand what medications you're taking, but absolutely fine to do it for 8 to 12 hours. That is actually healthy. Your body needs that much of gap to digest and assimilate food. My hormones, which were out of range earlier, now okay, but I still show symptoms, increased hair growth. So that's where you need to deal with it on day-to-day basis, because if you still have symptoms, then you need a proper lifestyle change. And also we need to understand your blood reports, which we are going to talk with Dr. Glossy in our chats. So let's talk about more, and you can DM me your reports for me to help you with it, because only then I will be able to understand that what it is. Well, yeah, I think you can hear the peacocks in my house. Yes, there is a peacock. For teenage acne, so if you're talking about generalized acne or PCOD acne, the treatments would depending on what kind of acne is it. We would see the acne, is it mild, moderate or severe? Do you need an antibiotic? Do we need just topical application? So you would need a virtual consult for me to give you any suggestions further, but for now you can start using some benzoyl peroxide spot treatment to control acne. Limit all dairy and sugar in your diet, because they really help in treating acne. I think we have a lot of repeat questions, and there are so many more questions that we are going to talk about in my future lives. I have a lot of questions about hair thinning. I have a lot of questions about dark circles. I have questions about hyperandrogenism and lean PCOD, which we are also going to talk about. And so I'm glad that all of you are signing in and asking me all these questions, because please keep tuned in for all the lives, because we are going to talk extensively about each and everything to all the experts. Thank you for joining in today, and I'll be signing off for now, but please keep sending me your questions, because I will make sure that I answer them with my experts through the lives that we are doing.